This is the Hobolite Micro Standard Kit. This guy costs $160. They've sent me this one to review for free, and they haven't paid me for my review, so my opinions remain my own. Alright, so in the package you get the light itself. You have a USB-A to USB-C charging cord branded with a Velcro cable keeper. It's a kind of cloth covered cable, has branding on it. So this charging cable is a USB-C to USB-C charging cable, but it does have a USB-C to A adapter. So if you only have a USB-A port, you can plug that in and charge off of that. You have these barn doors here. So it feels very nice. The barn door mechanism is very nice. Fits over that very nicely. So you have a diffuser lens here, and it magnetically attaches. You also have this kind of Fresnel lens, which also magnetically attaches if you put it on the right way. So the manual looks very imposing, but most of it is just in different languages. So you really only have 3 or 4 pages here. They have a specification sheet, which basically matches the specifications on the outside of the box. They have a QR code you can download from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, the app that'll control this via Bluetooth. They have a little bit of warranty information. Now the controls are very easy. You have your brightness here, and that's just between 0 and 100. When it's 0, it's off and the fan turns off. If you turn it on, even a tiny little bit, the fan will turn on, and so it is fan cooled. On the bottom you have your color temperature, and you can push the button to jump up by 10, or you can dial it to jump up by 1s. So basically it goes from about 6,500 down all the way to 2,700. So at the 2,700 level, this guy is putting out 360 lumens, but when you dial it all the way up to the cool white at 6,500, it's putting out 500 lumens. So there are intensity differences between the different color temperatures. So it's powered by a removable battery, which pops out here. This removable battery is 3.7 volts, 2.2 amp hours, so it's 7.4 watt hours. And this is a very proprietary Hobolite styled battery. So the accessories on the front are very well thought out. First of all, this ring pops out. So there's other accessories that presumably would fit in this latching ring system, but this ring has magnets, and those magnets will let you snap on the Fresnel lens or the diffuser, so you can pop those on. And each of these guys, the lens here, you could theoretically put the diffuser in front of that if you wanted to. It also has the barn doors, which can go on there with the magnets. They also have magnets, so you can put the lens or the diffuser in front of the barn doors as well. So basically you can mix and match these guys as much as you want. Some combinations don't necessarily make sense, but you're free to experiment in adjusting those as much or as little as you would like. The barn doors look and fold very nicely. So everything about this feels very nice and high quality, and for this price point I would expect nothing less. Alright, the main unit itself weighs in at 230 grams. If you add in the minor accessories, we're going up to 243. This guy here pops you up to 330. And so if you are carrying the cable in the bag with the whole package, it's 388 grams. So that's 0.8 pounds for the entire package. Just the light here is half a pound. So if you're trying to package these guys up, about the only space saving you can get is that Fresnel lens will fit inside of this guy, so you could package that in there, and that takes up just a super little bit tiny less space, but you still have, you know, that guy there and, you know, this package here like that. So with the exception of the manual, everything does fit pretty nicely into this little storage bag, although it's a little lumpy. So if you tap the left button, it'll do 25% increments on the intensity. If you tap the right button, it'll do basically 1,000 increments on the color temperature. Now it has a blue fan icon, which means it's actively cooling. It also has a blue Bluetooth icon, which means the Bluetooth is turned on. It also has an NFC icon here. And when it beeps, it pulls it up to the Google Play Store and just says, hey, here's this app, you can install it. It's rated E for everyone. It has 100 plus downloads. It does not appear to have any ratings yet. It is 14 megabytes in size. And when we open it up, we have to agree to the privacy policy, and then it needs request location permissions due to Bluetooth connectivity. So while using the app, we're going to allow it. We'll allow it to find to nearby devices. It's configuring. It says no devices added. I'm going to hit the plus button, hit confirm, and it's basically searching for a device. And this guy's turned on, the Bluetooth icon is lit up, but I'm not getting anything. Alright, so something I did not initially realize is that there is a settings menu in here. The manual has an arrow that points to this knob and mentions settings menu, but nowhere does it tell you how to get into it. So if you push that guy briefly, it does 25% increments. If you push and hold, it'll pop into the setup menu. And very exciting to me is the fact that with the fan, you can turn the fan off. And when you turn the fan off, this would be suitable to be on top of a camera. So that's a nice setting that I'm glad that they do have. But they also have the Bluetooth. They have off, on, and pair and reset. And so before you can connect this, even straight out of the box from the factory, you have to hit that pair and reset. And then it should be able to be connected to the phone app. Alright, so in the phone app, I hit plus, it found my device. I'm assuming this is the MAC address of my device because it's the only one it found. And we have added the device successfully. So there it is. I can click on it. You can adjust the brightness and the color intensity there. You have some buttons that go quickly. There's also the special effects, so you can do different special effects. You know, make it look like a screen or lightning, for example. So the effects menu are not as effective as with an RGB color light, but it has some options there for you. Now you can also adjust the fan, where you can turn the fan on and off, and you can turn off the power. But you're not able to turn the power back on from the app. You have to turn it back on here. Alright, so there's nothing that the phone app can do that you can't do with the controls on this guy, with the possible exception of remotely controlling it. And so you can put multiple lights into a group and control them all at the same time. So the phone app is really useful if you need to remotely control a light or put them into a group and have a group do things. You can also record scenes where you can switch your lights between different settings for various different scenes. So that's really most useful if you have multiple Hobo lights. So the one thing to pay attention to that I missed is it says settings menu and brightness adjustment for this guy. So if you push and hold that guy, you get to a settings menu which lets you do things like pair the Bluetooth or turn off the fan if you're mounting it directly near a camera or microphone. So it correctly negotiates USB-C power delivery. It's requesting 5 volts. It's charging at half an amp here, so it's charging at 2.6 watts. Now while it's charging, there is a battery charging display up here. It just has a battery with a lightning bolt. It does not appear to indicate the percentage done or how much the battery is charged, although it could be that the battery is almost fully charged from the factory, but it is still drawing current. So I'm going to charge it up until it stops drawing current. All right, this guy's been plugged in for several hours. It's never dropped down to 0 current draw, but it's drawing like 0.1 or 0.2 watts. So it's a tenth of a watt. So it's basically just drawing enough power to keep that screen running. And I'm going to say at 0.03 amps, this guy is fully charged. All right, I've set this to 100% intensity at 6500 Kelvin, and at that it's supposed to be putting out the most light it can. This guy claims to be an 8-watt light, and you can see it's putting out a decent amount of light here. So it is 2:32 p.m. We have the time-lapse camera watching it. I'm going to put this guy here so that we can see when that guy turns off. Now, the battery rating is 7.4 watt hours, and if it's an 8-watt light, I would expect this to go off within an hour or so. Time-lapse camera showed this guy ran for just about exactly an hour. I have it on the charger now. It has negotiated a 5-volt rate, and it's drawing 1.4 amps, so it's charging at 6.7 watts. And the icon on the back here now is flashing an animation sequence for charging. So it looks like it has about a 7 to 8 watt hour of battery because it ran for a full hour, and it claims to be an 8-watt light. So we will see how many watt hours it takes to charge it back up. All right, this guy's back to full. The total amount of power is 9 watt hours to charge it back up. All right, so this guy meets all of its specifications. The user interface is pretty easy to use once you know that you can push these guys in, and that's an action. Also, the difference between a short push and a long push to bring up the menu. I've been pretty happy. The brightness is very good. You can turn the fan off if you want to use it close to a microphone. The battery meets the specifications. I don't like this V-Groove quick release plate. I would have preferred just a cold shoe because this guy's small enough. It's really kind of a camera top light. So I think a cold shoe would be a better choice there. They do have the 1/4x20, so you could rig up something yourself. But I think this quick release plate is maybe good for the larger lights, but not great for this one. I like the magnetic attachments and all of the accessories. And it's high quality, very nice, but it does have that high price point that comes with all of that. And so you kind of have to weigh that price point against a really nice light, because you can get a much less expensive light that'll put out as much light. It's not quite as nice, may not work quite as well, but you're saving a lot of money.